The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hey everybody, my name is General Mike Flynn, and I'm here to do a big shout out for my great friend and one of the best in the business, Mr. Doug Billings. Right Side with Doug Billings, Right Side with Doug Billings. Doug is the future of the airwaves when it comes to independent broadcasters and podcasters. He is the new Rush Limbaugh. He's exactly what America needs right now, looking for honesty, looking for wisdom, looking for truth, looking for patriotism. Listen to Doug Billings at Right Side with Doug Billings. God bless you and God bless America, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are winning. We're winning. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Are you ready?
We are not liberal snowflakes who melt away in the face of tragedy, adversity, and challenge. We are a covenant nation under God, and his divine providence is not dead and it's not gone. It is living within each and every one of you. And you will bring it to life in such a way that the world has never seen before. We never back down. We never give up. We march forward.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side. Doug Billings here. Thank you very much for joining us all across the planet. Today, American exceptionalism. And if you've been scrolling through your feeds, if you've stumbled upon this particular edition of the program, stop right where you are, because today, my friends, I'm fired up about the patriotic spirit of real hope, real truth, and we need it. Look, it would be real easy today to talk about all of the news of the day like we normally do, and we should. We could talk about how the Supreme Court is trying to decide whether or not Trump's immigration policies and tariff policies will work. We can talk about how North Carolina and human trafficking in this country is a massive horror that we need to address, and we will, and we do. But I'm also talking about something that's much, in many ways, much more important than any of that, and that is this great reawakening that we are experiencing, the massive turn in America, and indeed, I think if you look around the world, towards conservatism. It is sweeping our nation, quite literally. And how we guard against it is pivotal. It's important. It's necessary. We have to protect and guard against the radical Commusocialist movement in this country. You know, those people formerly known as Democrats. And we have the media to deal with. Now, the media with their bullhorns will make it look as if I'm nuts by telling you that we have this great reawakening happening and that millions of people are turning towards the conservative movement. But get ready to feel empowered and be hopeful, because America is roaring back. You don't see about it in the mainstream media. You don't hear about it even on our right side, even among some of the conservative influencers and so forth. It's doom and gloom out there. Now, I am not belittling the fact that we have a lot of work to do in order to restore this republic. We do. Primarily, we conservatives during off presidential elections need to get more involved and become the activists that the radical left have become. But we'll become activists peacefully. And the difference between our activism and theirs is that, quite frankly, we stand in common. We stand for the divine providence of God and the belief and the intent of the founding fathers of this republic. So whether you're grabbing a cup of coffee, whether you're on a walk, listening with your earbuds or whatever, share this. If you're sitting at home on your computer, wherever you are, maybe you're sneaking a listen at work, wherever you may be. This is news that's going to light a fire underneath you and give you the hope that you need to continue the work of determined patriotism. We are in the midst of a great reawakening, my friends. Despite the nonstop noise, I know, like I just spoke about, from the radical left and their echo chamber media, the vast majority of Americans are waking up and embracing conservatism. There's no denying it. To do so is just to be an example of intellectual immaturity. It's a tidal wave of freedom that we are experiencing, faith, family values, and it's a beautiful thing to witness. Think about it. America, my friends, wasn't built by chance. We are not an accident. Our founders stood against tyrants, many of whom bear the same characteristics as we see today. Our founders trusted in a higher power to forge a nation and a republic of liberty. That same spirit, my friends, is still alive today in you. I'm hearing from listeners everywhere in emails and messages on social media. Truckers in Texas ditching big government overreach. Moms in Michigan fighting for school agendas and choice and against the school boards that have become woke, radicalized enemies and indoctrinators of children. Even young entrepreneurs in California and in New York, of all places, realizing that free markets can be and are the way out of the slavery of entitlement and free handouts. So people are rejecting the liberal agenda. They're rejecting open borders, rejecting inflation, rejecting endless wars. They're craving stability. They want law and order. They want all of that that's rooted in our heritage. And it's great to see. And we've got to be able to give ourselves permission to believe that this is really the truth. Don't buy the media lies. They blast continually fringe stories that are meant to divide us, making you think that conservatism is outdated. They're under orders, quite literally, to do this. But you look around, my friends, look around. Evidence of the obvious, right? More flags waving in neighborhoods. Seriously, folks packing town hall meetings in their local communities. School board meetings filled to the brim, parents speaking out at them. Churches filling up, communities banding together, helping one another, just as our founders intended. I spoke with a veteran, served in Iraq. He came home to chaos, but now he's teaching the Constitution to children in small local groups in his county. It's those kind of emails that I love reading because it's not grandiose. It doesn't seem on the purpose to be extraordinary. A veteran coming home and in his spare time teaching children the Constitution. That's monumental in many ways. It's heroic. That's how we save our republic. That kind of involvement in your local level. It's really that simple and that profound all at the same time. It is a paradox. And the signs are everywhere. Polls are showing that conservatism has surged in recent years, 38% up to a 58% overall mark. That's the highest in over a decade. 58% of Americans are tending and leaning towards conservatism. Stronger support for family values, for faith. Those are the traditional American values that makes us exceptional. Americans are shifting towards the right and primarily on personal values. In this country, there's a huge anti-woke backlash. People are rejecting identity politics. They're rejecting gender ideology, the myth of transgenderism. It doesn't exist. It's a mental disorder. There are only two genders, and people know this. And they're rejecting the overreach that we have seen in schools and on the media, in medicine, etc. The post-election wins, since Trump has now been back in office, are rising on issues like the ridiculousness of biological men playing in women's sports. People are rejecting that outright. And conservative media continues to explode on platforms like X, YouTube, even Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Conservative voices are rising and overtaking the liberal ones. And you good people, you all get to become the most intellectually mature audience in all of Radioland simply by listening and watching to this program. So think of it. It's beautiful. I mean, even the fashion trends are turning more conservative. There's a trending trad wife, TRAD-wife, traditional wife. It's what it stands for. With vintage styles for women's fashions coming back in, celebrating the role of womanhood and the difference of the two genders that we have. And demographically, it's even better. Conservatives outnumber liberals outright. And we have, now here's one of my favorite. We have better fertility rates among conservatives. We're outbreeding the liberals. The liberals are not having children. Good. I told you, I say conservatives are better looking and we are smarter than the libs. and we're doing it. We're making it happen. I know that nine out of 10 times, you, ladies and gentlemen, you can choose 9 times out of 10. If you're given a lineup of people, you can choose who is the conservative and who is the liberal. 9 or 8 times out of 10, at least, you can do that just by looking at them. So we have also seen curbed immigration. We have set records with deportations in this country. The borders are finally locked down, sealed up. With the economic pains that are associated with that are going away, and people attribute it to conservative values. Imagine conservative values wanting a safe and secure country and safe and secure borders. Young voters, especially those Generation Z voters and Generation Z men especially, are swinging over to the right side on politics, religion, and the gender issues. Got an email from a kid in New York, an entrepreneur. He and his friends are ditching the socialist agenda after seeing what failures it constructs and what failures it cascades down upon the people, not only of New York, but of the world. And they are staying in New York to save the state. That's what I'm talking about. Local involvement, the young people getting involved, not running, but staying. God bless them. Economically, conservatism means for you jobs. It means growth, low taxes, deregulation. We've seen the left's mandates, the purposeful destruction of businesses during the COVID nonsense, just to name one example. That's what they want. They want the chaos, absolutely, because they think that chaos will drive us to believe that only the big government can save us. But they also want the entitlements because they believe that free stuff will do what that party has wanted since it was founded. That is, keep slavery active, not by shackles and chains anymore, but by slavery with regards to the handouts that you get, keeping you enslaved to the entitlements. And now the pro-American trend with Trump, we can look at everywhere from the border to his tariffs, his policies, America First agenda, businesses coming back. It's reviving America, reviving the towns in which you live. Faith communities are leading to a great degree. Now, we've got a lot of work to do with them. We've got to get more pastors, priests, and rabbis to speak from the pulpit about conservatism and the differences thereof from the radical left. But faith communities are doing better, and we are being reminded that our rights do, in fact, come from God, not from government. Ignore the media's doom loop, my friends. They hype up the loud minority of kooks out there. We have seen real wins as conservatives. School boards have been flipping conservative. Homeschooling numbers are surging. And we have record gun sales, believe it or not. Yes, we do, for self-defense and hunting. And it's not top-down change that I'm talking about. This is grassroots change. And it's powered by you. So give yourself a pat on the back. Like Patrick Henry, who shouted, "Give me liberty or give me death." We have a renewed passion. It's back about America. Young folks are ditching the cancel culture. Women are leading on family issues. Abortion is meant for the culture of death, not of life. It is not reproductive health. It is the butchering of innocent human babies. Women are leading on that topic now. Men are assisting, even globally. Our turn as American conservatives inspires our allies. The silent majority is now roaring, folks. Conservatives leading on issues like crime, economy, the borders, business, freedom. Voter registration is up big for us. Now, the reawakening that we're experiencing, this is all very precious, and we've got to protect it. We've got to guard it. Lurking out there in the darkness and the shadows are the rhinos and the Commusocialist, forming that uniparty that they push. They want big government, open borders, purposeful chaos, anarchy, that whole woke agenda, including DEI and the transgender myth, all of it. Their media bullhorns amplify the minority fringe. They try to snuff us out. That's their intent. They want us to think that they are the majority. They are not. We're not falling for that. We are the exception to tyranny's rule, my friends. A force for good. We build up God's kingdom here on earth, and we make differences for the better in the lives of people. The radical left movement has nothing to do with human dignity. Believe it. Look at the evidence of the obvious. And our ingenuity crushes our competition. Take Russia, for example. Last week, their hyped up Adol humanoid, the robot that they brought out on stage. It looked like a drunk Foster Brooks from back in the day. Research Foster Brooks, kids. Did a face plant on the stage, a total embarrassment. Glitches exposed. They couldn't build. They cannot do it. They can't touch us with regards to technology, science, engineering, etc. Here in America, we've got Boston Dynamics robots that flip, jump, flawlessly run over hurdles. Elon Musk last week unveiled a robot surgeon. More precise and delicate skills than any human that we could have. Freedom unleashes all of that. Socialism and communism suppress it. What about China? They had that big, beautiful bridge over there, right? The Hongkai Bridge, 2,500 feet of sprawling concrete, collapsed on November 11th. Shoddy work, rushed in a communist state. They can't even build bridges over there. Our infrastructure in this country endures because of private enterprise and accountability, by the way. The same thing can be said for our military. The Chinese parades of military strength that are made up of papier-mâché rockets, give me a break. We are the strongest military in the world, and you can combine any number of other nations, we would still be better, stronger. Drones, cyber defense, precision strikes. We defend freedom globally, and there's nothing to be ashamed about that. But radicals will push defunding and the woke policies that weaken us. Remember Obama's anti-exceptionalism push going around the world begging for forgiveness? Even Putin lectured us in 2013 about that. No way. American exceptionalism is empowering, and we guard it by voting conservative at every level in every election, and this is where we need to improve. Getting out and voting in off presidential election cycles. But we can do it because we've seen that we've built faith-rooted communities. We educate our kids on facts. We build history and civics based in truth. We fight against the high taxes, the burdensome regulations, the handouts, the mandated shutdowns and jabs. They stifle us. It's a failed system. People have seen it. Liberalism is a loser, but conservatism fuels economic and personal booms, just like Reagan did. Our people are the greatest asset that we have in all of this. Ordinary folks, like that veteran I mentioned, teaching kids the Constitution, doing extraordinary things for freedom's sake and inspired by God. Now, the media will distort all of this. They'll hype up the foreign winds as brought about by someone who is unhinged. They don't want Trump because he's undoing their agenda right in front of their face in real time. And they're under orders from their radical liberal hierarchy that we must always shout down President Trump, never a victory, which is why they shut down the government for 40 days. Despite all of that, they want to crush Trump, and they use you as the pawns in all of that. And we, conservatives, counter with the truth. We are beginning to speak up at work. We're voting informed. We live the exceptionalism that we believe in. This reawakening that we're experiencing, my friends, is divine. So we have got to protect it from threats from within. President Trump embodies it, leading by example. We follow suit. Optimism prevails. We will default to the positive and march forward, no matter the adversity, the challenges, or the tragedies that beset us, because there are blessings in all of those moments waiting to be born. You're the guardians of this miracle of America, my friends. The majority is us. Don't let the bullhorns from the liberal media fool you. Thanks for joining me. Please share this. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Right Side Doug Billings. Please head over to my website. Prayerfully consider setting up a monthly recurring donation of $5 a month, dougbillings.us. If you like the message, share it, subscribe it, and follow me. We are in this thing together, ladies and gentlemen, and we're winning. Let's give ourselves permission to believe it. For the Republic. God bless you. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, Doug Billings. Hey, my good friends at EMP Shield, that's electromagnetic pulse, in case you're from Raytown, Missouri. Electromagnetic pulse could wipe out your home electrical system, could wipe out your vehicle. And thanks to the radical liberal agenda that was put forth under Administrator Biden and Vice Pretender Harris, there are lots of people in this country who want to do us harm. And maybe an EMP device would be their chosen weapon. But EMP Shield gives you a device that can protect you. This little baby here goes on your home outlets, a computer, a router, whatever you want to protect. And then they also have a larger model like this. You can still hold it in the palm of your hand that goes on your vehicle battery so that you can get out of trouble from point A to point B. EMPshield.com. Promo code Doug, ladies and gentlemen. Save yourself. Save your property. EMPshield.com. Promo code Doug. We're in this together, folks. Believe it. For the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.